When I'm creating my pitch message, I use the process of mind mapping. And this helps me initially to capture my ideas. Now, the process of mind mapping was invented by Tony Buzan in the 1960s. And I have to say, I did get the pleasure of hearing him speak in Belfast a couple of years ago. And it's a really useful tool for capturing and then helping you to organize your ideas. And I want to share with you how I use this process to develop the content for this webinar. So clearly, I started with my mind map and I put the topic of my pitch, which I had been given by Invest, into the middle of a sheet of paper. And then I let my ideas flow around the topic. And I started to think about how can I help the people that I'm speaking to develop a winning pitch? What could I tell them? Well, I could tell them a little bit about visual aids. I could tell them about the importance of stepping into the shoes of the audience. I could talk about delivering with impact. I could tell them about how I go about creating my message and how that might work for them. I could talk about understanding the needs of the audience, the logistics that we need to be aware of, the importance of setting objectives, the difference with pitching online, a little bit about body language, voice and language skills, the importance of knowing the venue. They're going to need to know a little bit about me as well so that I can establish my credibility. I'm going to tell them about mind mapping. I'm going to then talk about how to structure questions, how to respond to questions during a pitch, how to sell the benefits of what you're doing, thinking about what my ask is, importance of Wi-Fi and having a good, strong Wi-Fi, in terms of body language, my eyes, my hands, the importance of timing. And at this stage, all I was trying to do was to really capture as many ideas and words as I could think of and simply dump them onto a page. I didn't exclude anything at this stage. So anything that popped up at all, I just put it onto the page because I knew that I could edit it later. And once I'd captured all my thoughts, I then needed to identify 3 key themes that I could place these words under. And as I looked at the words, I came up with preparation, creating the message, and pitching with impact. And I always try to limit my themes to a maximum of 3, because odds are that people will only remember 3 things. So if you can structure your pitch around 3, it will become much more memorable. And once I identified my 3 key themes, I then color-coded the words under each theme, allowing me to begin to structure my pitch. But I mean, the reality is when we look at this, would this make sense as it stands? And I have to say, definitely not. So how do we take our mind map and add structure to it? And it's fairly easy to do that. And it's funny, everyone that I've worked with, when I ask them what is the structure of a pitch or a presentation, they can all tell me the same thing. They can all tell me that a presentation structure needs to have a clear beginning, it needs to have a detailed middle, and a clear ending. But very few of the presenters that I've worked with could tell me what to include in each of these sections. So rather than do an introduction, they just jumped straight into the middle of their pitch and there was no conclusion at the end. So what I want to share with you is how to use the template to structure your presentation or your pitch. And I'm still going to use the webinar from today. So having captured my 3 key themes, I'm now ready to top and tail my pitch. And as you've all already told me, every good pitch should begin with a good introduction. And a great way to do this is to structure your introduction around 4 key areas. And although I've numbered them 1 to 4, you can decide on the order in which to cover them. So the first point is the catalyst. We then move to the protocol, the topic, and sharing the key themes that you're going to cover. So the catalyst is really your first opportunity to grab your audience's attention. And to do that, you could start with a statistic or a fact, an amusing story or a moving anecdote, a rhetorical question. In short, the purpose of the catalyst is to get the audience interested in you and what you have to say from the very beginning of your pitch. In the introduction, every good presenter will cover certain protocols. This may include introducing yourself to give the audience an idea of who you are. You could tell them how long your pitch will be and how you will handle questions. Having covered all the necessary protocols, now it's time to outline the topic of your pitch. This explains why you're pitching and what you hope to get as a result. And then you outline the 3 key themes that you will cover. This is a fantastic way of signposting the listener and outlining the journey that you're about to take them on. So let's see how this all came together. And I'm going to show you that how I use the template to structure my introduction. So in my introduction for the catalyst, instead of asking a question, which I would have done had you been face to face with me, I simply began with an assumption that you were all here to improve your ability to pitch. I then introduced myself in relation to my experience working with companies to enhance their pitches. And again, that was all about building my credibility with you. I explained the topic of the session and that I would be taking you through the key stages that you would need to go through to deliver a great pitch. I then, still as part of my introduction, outlined the 3 key themes that I was going to cover. And hopefully you'll remember those. Preparation to make sure that you prepare in the right way. The importance of understanding the needs of your audience to deliver the right message. And finally, although we haven't got to it just yet, we're going to look at how to deliver with impact. Moving from the introduction, you're now ready to move to the body of your pitch. And here you're going to provide the audience with a lot more depth in relation to each of the key themes, as I did here. For preparation, I looked at the importance of setting your objectives, understanding the needs of the audience, and the importance of getting your visual aids right. In relation to your message, it was about shaping it to meet the needs of your audience. It's about using the process of mind mapping combined with the structure template to provide a logical flow. And finally, we'll be covering how to deliver with impact through effective use of visual aids, positive body language, and a strong voice. Once you've covered the material you prepared, move to the end or the conclusion. And here it's all about beginning by recapping the key themes that you've covered, making sure that you have a clear call to action. In other words, what do you want your audience to do as a result of listening to you? So again, let's see how that comes together. So in my conclusion, I'm going to recap that we've spent a lot of time looking at the importance of preparation, creating the right message, and how to deliver with impact. My call to you will be, use the process of mind mapping, apply the template to structure your pitch, and get out there and deliver with impact.